Okay, so let's be honest. We all get a little nervous when that plane hits some rough air, right?
Yeah.
But the story we're diving into today, well, it's a little more than just some light turbulence.
Definite.
A Delta regional jet had a pretty dramatic landing this afternoon at Toronto Pearson Airport. We're talking crash landing, flames, smoke, the whole thing.
Yeah, it sounds intense.
But here's the incredible part. Everyone walked away.
You're kidding.
No life-threatening injuries. Not a single one.
Wow.
That's what we're unpacking in this deep dive.
Yeah.
How did everyone escape this? What happened?
It really does make you wonder, right? Like, how does that even happen?
Right, like what are the chances? And the source we have here,
Yeah.
it highlights this like miracle on the runway kind of feel.
Yeah.
And it talks about how eyewitnesses, they saw the jet skidding off the runway.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine?
I can't.
So I have to ask, what usually causes a plane to go off the runway like that during landing?
Well, in aviation, they call that a runway excursion. Basically, the plane veers off the runway, and there's a whole bunch of things that can cause that.
I bet.
Weather's often a big factor.
Yeah, of course.
Strong winds, heavy rain. Even snow, can make landing pretty challenging. For instance, like if there's a lot of rain, the runway can get super slippery, and that reduces the friction that you need for braking. It's kind of like
Oh, I see.
trying to stop your car on ice.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
That kind of challenge, but in the air.
Yeah.
And then you also have the possibility of mechanical issues cropping up, like anything from brake failure to problems with the landing gear. And each scenario has its own set of challenges for the pilots.
Definitely. I mean, just thinking about it, it's a lot to process when you're up there in the air.
Absolutely.
But like you said, everyone's safe.
Yeah.
Which is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
And the source really emphasizes how the quick emergency response played a big role.
Yeah, for sure.
So walk us through that. What kind of training and coordination goes on behind the scenes to make an evacuation like this so successful?
Well, think of it as like a well-oiled machine.
Okay.
A whole network of highly trained professionals working together.
Wow.
You've got the pilots, first and foremost.
Yeah.
They're trained to handle all sorts of emergencies, including runway excursions. Their main focus is to bring that plane to a stop as safely as they can, and then initiate the evacuation procedures.
Got it.
And then you've got the flight attendant. They're really the heroes here.
Oh, for sure.
Guiding passengers quickly, calmly, making sure everyone gets out safe and all under intense pressure.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and you can't forget about air traffic control.
Oh, of course.
You're coordinating the whole emergency response on the ground.
Right.
Making sure those first responders, the firefighters, the paramedics, they get to the scene as fast as possible.
It's like a perfectly choreographed dance.
Yeah.
But with life or death stakes.
Yeah, exactly.
And, of course, the source mentions there's an investigation underway.
Yeah, that's standard procedure.
Which makes total sense. But can you break down what that process usually looks like? And how long does it usually take to find out exactly what happened?
Aviation investigations are super thorough.
I bet.
We're talking the airline involved, the aviation authorities, in this case probably Canadian, and the aircraft manufacturer all working together.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, the goal is to figure out exactly what caused it.
To prevent it from happening again.
Right. And a really important part of all this is that black box.
Ah, the black box.
Yeah, what's interesting is that black box, it's not actually black.
Oh, right.
It's usually bright orange.
Makes sense for finding it, I guess.
Exactly. And this black box, it records a ton of data.
Like what kind of stuff?
Well, it can tell investigators the exact angle of the plane when it touched down, what the pilot was doing with the controls, even the engine thrust.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So they can see if it was pilot error or a mechanical problem.
Exactly.
That's really fascinating.
Yeah, it's like a puzzle they have to piece together, using all this data to understand what led to the crash and what went wrong.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And of course, they had to close the runway.
Right.
Which probably messed up a bunch of other flights.
Oh, absolutely. One incident can have a ripple effect on the whole airport. Delays, cancellations, it's a mess.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how one event can disrupt things so much. But hey, at least everyone's okay.
Yeah, that's the silver lining here.
That's what we can take away from this whole thing.
Absolutely.
Everyone survived because of those incredible pilots and flight attendants and those fast-acting first responders.
It really shows you how important those emergency procedures are.
It really does.
Yeah.
But this whole weather thing, it got me thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Could there be some kind of, super advanced weather prediction system,
Mm.
or even autonomous landing features,
Yep.
like in self-driving cars.
Mm-hmm.
Could that be the future of safer landings?
That's an interesting thought. It'll be interesting to see where technology takes aviation safety in the years to come.
Absolutely. Something to think about.